Welcome to Cultivating Ascension. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. My channel is dedicated to providing you quick, concise, and informative book summaries on content that will help you upgrade your life romantically, mentally, personally, and even professionally. And if this is your second time back to my channel, thank you so much for supporting it. I hope you had the opportunity to take a look at my previous book summary featuring Cindy Sophia's book around being a wealthy wife. If you'd like to learn more about that, go ahead and check that video out. Today's book is going to be dedicated to a phrase that really became extremely popular over the past few years. And that phrase, is I am the table. Today's book is Dusty Detox Guide, written by Lauren LeBeau. This book emerged out of an experience that Lauren had actually when she attended a taping of the Wendy Williams show. There was an exchange between her and the celebrity host regarding her interest and the specific type of man that she would like to see herself with. And from that response, Lauren LeBeau was inspired to really begin this movement. And this movement is called I Am the Table, which is a phrase you would see really show up a couple of times as you read the book. So, in a nutshell, Lauren LeBeau's Dusty Detox Guide is an entry-level guide for the beautiful, ambitious, and amazing woman who has stumbled far too many times in dealing with partners who don't know her worth or are simply not in alignment with what she wants or what she needs. And I'm sure many of you have experienced this as well, and perhaps some of you are dealing with this right now. So I hope that some of the pointers and some of the recap and takeaways that I took away from this particular book will inspire you to think about what the next steps are. In no way am I going to claim that I am a relationship guru. I don't aim to phrase myself as such. Again, my aim is to simply summarize the content of books that have great nuggets and points that are beneficial to you. But I do hope that you'll be able to take away some action steps that can help you make wiser, better decisions for yourself, for your sake. So one of the illuminating quotes that really captured me when I read the Dusty Detox Guide was, "When you're clear about what you do and do not want, you will live this intention with your daily actions, and anyone who is offering less than what you want or simply cannot rise to the occasion will no longer qualify for a seat at your table." So again, who should sit at your table? That's a question you definitely want to ask. So let's go into the top 3 elements that I took away from this book. The first is the key to healing the past and moving forward is the forgiveness of self. The second is to send a message to the universe that you are the most important person in the world and you love yourself unconditionally. And the third is be very clear about your needs, wants, and intention. So let's delve into the elements. So again, element 1 was the key to healing the past and moving forward is forgiveness of self. I can only imagine how hard you can be on yourself. And this is something that is shared with many people, especially amazing, beautiful women like yourself. We forgive others so quickly, and yet for us, we are so hard on ourselves. And we really have to give ourselves a break, cut ourselves some slack. Cut ourselves some slack. And one of the great things in this guide is that Lauren shared a special practice that's completed by a particular cultural group, centered around forgiving oneself, reciting a particular mantra to forgive yourself, to love yourself, to support yourself, to soothe yourself, to empathize with yourself, to be compassionate to yourself. And this ritual, this practice, is beginning to gain momentum across the world. But it really is centered around the concept of speaking to yourself and letting yourself know that you forgive yourself for past actions. You wouldn't dare want to see a member of your family dealing with some of the things you've accepted. So, really taking the time to forgive yourself. The second element is sending a message to the universe that you are the most important person in the world and you love yourself unconditionally. Self love is really the name of the game now. So many spaces have mantras centered around self care Sundays, self care Saturdays. What are you doing to practice self care? And there's often images, and I may have that too, of being at the spa, going on a luxury trip. But what you really want to do is have tactful, tactful practices of self love. And it goes back to the first element. Are you forgiving yourself? Are you being compassionate with yourself? Because you can go to the spa, you can take those trips and go to the Maldives and enjoy and bask in the sun. But if you are still hard on yourself the moment that trip has wrapped up, then that self care practice was done in vain. So, what is it that will help you center yourself? Is it making sure that you establish boundaries? And if you are creating boundaries, are you indicating what is your limit? What is it that you're not going to accept? Are you clearly articulating that to yourself of what those boundaries are? Are you taking time to understand yourself? And if that seems like quite the daunting task, or maybe even a very difficult task, are you considering perhaps connecting with a therapist? Therapy has often been a very taboo topic in various communities, especially communities of color. But more and more advocates of mental health awareness, therapy, counseling, and the advocacy happening within those communities is beginning to remove that taboo branding and recognizing how important it is to simply connect with a therapist who can really help you sort out why you think the way you do, what stems from it, and how can you continue progressing and, of course, cultivating your ascension. The third is the third element is being very clear about your needs, your wants, and your intention. In the Dusty Detox guide, Lauren goes into talk about the concept of manifestation. And that involves, making sure that you have a clear idea of what you want in life. What do you want out of life? What are your intentions as you move about in life? And this is where some of us often fall short. I know I have in the past. I have fallen short of it because I would go into a relationship not necessarily being clear about what I want. I often, whenever I would be asked the question of, what are you looking for? Um, I would be so ambiguous and say, oh, well, nothing. I mean, we'll see. And Although there are various schools of thoughts with that response, it's my takeaway is that it is very important for you to let the person know who's courting you. And yes, you should be courted. To let them know that you are open to meeting people and ultimately want to connect with marriage minded men if that is your intention, or someone who is looking for a long term relationship. So, if that is your intention, then you definitely want to make sure that that is clearly stated. When you write down what you want, you really are putting it out there. You're putting it out there and you're recognizing that this is your pledge to yourself. This is your mantra. And what you want to do, as mentioned in the Dusty Detox, is embrace journaling as part of becoming very clear, clear as a prism, of what you want. And the more that you practice this method, this moment of journaling, the more you will make this habitual routine trigger a life that is well informed, well established, well curated, so you know and you go about life knowing exactly what you want out of it and the action steps that you're going to take to get towards those destinations that you've put forth. And finally, my thoughts around the book is that this is the perfect book to share with someone who just experienced an unfortunate breakup or miscommunication or a misalignment with someone they thought could have been the one. Or perhaps this was someone that they were trying to build a budding relationship with, but they both had you both had different goals and intentions. Hence the reason why it is so important to address those intentions at the very beginning of the courting stage and the dating stage. And that's why another thing that's important too, is that when you are entertaining potential partners, you want to date more than one until someone has exclusively stated that they want to be with you. They want to be exclusive with you. They want to marry you. They want to literally ask for your hand in marriage. This book was written with such a refreshing air. I mean, imagine sitting across the table with the author sipping a mimosa, and she's literally making tools around self awareness and cultivating personal ascension as common sense. She's creating these tools and making them as simple and clear as common sense. So I thank you again for sitting through this summary. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any books you'd like me to do a recap of, you are more than welcome to drop it down in the comments below. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up, subscribes, and press the bell so you can get notified on the next recap. Until then, keep cultivating your ascension.